Welcome back to the Dolomites. Now you might be thinking, if you watch this channel regularly enough, what on earth am I doing back here in this area? Well, the very simple reason is I'm trying to just get a bit more knowledge, because next year I'm running a photography workshop in October, so you'll see the details of that on my website at www.julianelliottphotography.com, or if you look down in the description there you'll see a link. Now it is unfortunately raining, and it has been for most of the day. Now I did manage to get a couple of things earlier on today, and I was going to get up this morning, but I was tired after the journey up here. It's actually quite a difficult journey. There's been a lot of rainstorms around, as you may have seen in the news, and certainly when I've been driving around in the area in the Dolomites up here, there's a lot of fallen trees around. It's actually quite dangerous driving at times. And as you can hear behind me, you can see the amount of water that's coming down this waterfall. So what's going on over the next week or so? Well, I'm staying around the Brunico area, and I'm just trying to get a bit more knowledge around there. And I'm moving down to Ortisei after that. And what I'm going to do is just show you some of what it is that I'm doing when I'm here, but I'm not necessarily going to tell you the names of some of the locations. And that's deliberate because obviously I've got a workshop next year, and I don't want to say to everybody, oh, this is what I'm doing, and people come along and go, oh right, that's great, I'll use that in my own ideas for a workshop. So it's my own personal knowledge that will be running that workshop. So if you're interested, let me know, and certainly sign up for my newsletter for more information as and when it happens. Until then, let's get going with the Dolomites. So how bad has the weather been here in the Dolomites? Well, it's been pretty bad, and you can obviously hear the noise behind me. They're cutting trees, and they're cutting a tree that's fallen right across the road. It's completely blocked the road, so just having to wait before I can continue my journey. But been told it should be about 5 or 10 minutes before they can get rid of it. From the looks of it, it hasn't been there that long, so been very lucky that going up this route, no trees have been falling on me or anybody else, and they're starting to build up a bit of a traffic jam, but they're about halfway done now, which is great. So hopefully I can get on and then get on to my the next thing that I'd like to do. What I'd like to do, if I can, is I'd like to do one of the passes from above with a drone, so we'll see if I can get that. The rain is kind of coming and going. I don't really want to send the drone up in the rain for obvious reasons, but hopefully the next few days it's supposed to be quite nice. We shall see. But in any case, just got to sit and wait until they cut this tree out the way. So I got past the fallen tree back there. They cut it down in about 10 minutes or so and managed to clear the road. And I'm basically going back to where I'm staying near Brunico. There's a pass that I know, and I've just come around a corner and come across this scene here. Now, I just looked a minute ago and the cloud is coming in a bit, but before I started filming this, it was actually a lot clearer. And it was really nice because I just looked at it and thought, well, that's perfect time-lapse material. So you can probably hear my camera clicking away there. It's clicking away every 2 seconds because I don't need anything longer than 2 seconds. 2 seconds is enough to give the cloud the movement that I need. If I put it on something, say like 5, it's just going to look really daft. It's just going to be blowing around too quickly. So 2 seconds is enough to give you, the viewers, just that little bit of movement and seeing what it is that the wind is blowing around the cloud back there. So I'm going to get on with my time lapse, and I'm still hoping to get my drone shot looking down on the twisting and turning roads around here, but we shall see. One good thing is that it stopped raining. One other thing is the temperature seems to be dropping, and as you can probably see around me, and one of the B-rolls that I'm going to flick up in a minute, it's also been snowing quite a lot up here, and it's supposed to get colder over the next few days. How cold? I guess we'll see. But I prefer the mountains with some snow on rather than looking bare and just the rock faces. In any case, let's continue on with this week's vlog. So after yesterday's rainfall, I did manage to get something at the end of the day. I got a better drone shot than I did a regular camera shot, which is fine by me. This morning I nearly didn't get up, I nearly didn't come out to do dawn, but I'm glad I did because I've come back to Lago de Braies and it's absolutely perfect. Although, because of all the rainfall, it's actually really flooded out here. I've never seen it. I've been here 5 times and the water is just nearly up to the path. So it's nearly making it impossible to get all those classic shots that you would normally see of this place. In fact, getting shots of the boats that you see here is just nigh on impossible. Although there is actually a sunken boat that's just at the entrance to the lake. So I'm going to go down there in a minute, but you can obviously see I'm in a precarious position as always, trying to get a shot. So I'm getting what it is that I want, and I'm very happy with what it is that I'm getting. So I'll flick that up in a minute, and then I'll just give you a quick movie shot of Lago de Braies with all the flooded water here. Lago de Braies this morning was just absolutely stunning. There's absolutely no other word for it. It was stunning down there this morning, and it kept going and going and going. And I got about 3 or 4 different shots that I think I'm really happy with. I need to make sure when I get back and look at them on my laptop when I get back to the apartment later on. But from what I can see, they look amazing. Now, I've also gone into exploring mode right now because I've got more time than I normally have. I've come up a road that I've been aware of but never had the time to actually come up. And there's some really nice mountain vistas when I come up here. I'm actually at the end of the road now. You might be able to see behind me just some of those really nice mountain scenes. And what I've also been doing is sending up the drone every so often just to get a different point of view on the landscape that's there in front of me, because at times at ground level it doesn't really work. So behind me, what I'm going to do is send up the drone again and just see what it is that I can get. Now, I know some people might be thinking, well, where on earth did the drone come in? When did this happen? Well, I was lent a drone back in September and it's just basically stuck with me. So I'm using it to my advantage and just trying to get as many different angles and shots, different bits of film footage, just to try and make any forthcoming vlog that much more interesting to you, the viewers who are watching this. I was just on my way up to one of the mountain passes when I could see a view that I knew was just about to be illuminated by the sunlight. So the sun is actually over my left shoulder at the moment, actually in front of me. And as you can see behind me, this gorgeous autumn colour with all the mountains behind me, the Dolomites here. It is absolutely stunning. Now, I've photographed this before, but what I really wanted last time I was here was actually a bit of cloud, which I've got now. What I've been able to do with the drone as well is be able to get it up and get a completely different perspective on what it is that I'm doing, which is great because the surrounding area is just absolutely gorgeous with all the mountains that surround. It's actually the town of Cortina that I'm just outside of, so you can see behind me what it is that I've got. I might actually get a regular photo as well just to top it off, but certainly the drone photos that I've got and the footage looks really, really nice. And just a little bit of patience has meant the sun has come out a lot more, and I've been able to actually, what I was doing first of all, go back and do it again and actually get some better shots. So hopefully you'll enjoy what it is that I've got there. Now, one of the things you might be wondering is how on earth do you deal with things like graduated filters on drones? Well, I'm using a product called Polar Pro, and they make all sorts of different filters, from just regular NDs to polarizers to also gradient filters. So I've got some gradient filters on my Mavic Pro, and what that's helping to do is obviously balance the light between the sky and the foreground, and it makes such a difference when you're trying to get this type of scene. Otherwise you'd have to blend 2 different photos together, and I have actually done some photos like that. But in any case, enjoy this autumn colour here just outside of Cortina. Landscape photography is many things to many people, but to me there's a number of things that I have to think about when I'm outside doing these kind of things and going to cities and going to places like where I am now in the Dolomites. I have to think, if I go there and I spend money, am I actually going to get any of that money back? Because I have to make a living as a photographer, and I have to think as well, at the end of the day, the product that I'm producing, the final image, is actually what I want and what I see in my head. At the moment, it's kind of not really. There would be a lot of people that would be stood here right now thinking, but it just looks absolutely beautiful, the scene that you've got over to my left shoulder, which is Lago di Misurina. It's a kind of nice clearish sky, there's snow on the mountain in the background, and the lake it's nearly still, it's getting there. And as I said, a lot of people think this is just absolutely beautiful. Now it is beautiful, don't get me wrong, however I kind of would really like a bit more mood to it. And this morning when I got up in the apartment where I am, it was quite cloudy in Brunico. I couldn't even see if there was actually any stars around because there's just so much cloud. So I got up and I just thought, well, is this worth it? I'm going to have to be driving an hour and a half. I've been up at 4:30. I'm very tired, and is it going to be worth it? And I got near Cortina, and there was just no cloud at all. And I thought, here we go again. This is, I think, my 4th time here, and every single time I've been here, it's always been clear skies. So I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm getting a nice photo. I mean, I'm taking photos. It's what I do, but is it really what I want? It's not really what I want. And what I might do is actually come back later on today and see if it's changed and see if there's actually anything in the sky, because at the moment, if I kind of just go swing around, you'll see behind me, so it is beautiful back there. I just get the GoPro working in the right direction. You'll see back there it is really nice, but it's just, for me, too clear. But in any case, I'll just carry on working and doing what it is that I do and bringing you content. And I may send the drone up, I don't know yet. I really don't like flying my drone across water, because if something happens to it and it ditches in the water, it's a lot of money to lose, and I can't really afford for that to happen. But in any case, I carry on. But I'm also actually going to just cut to a different sequence. I'm just going to show you a couple of different things that I'm bringing along now. A couple of gear changes since my vlog in, I think it was August. So just hold on a minute. So as I said, you can see it's quite clearish out there. Now the gear changes. What has changed for me since August? Well, I'm now on a Canon 5D Mark IV, and I'm using Benro tripods and heads. There's a very, very simple reason for that, and that's because Benro France have asked if I would be the very first ambassador in France for Benro tripods. So there is a GD3WH head on there, which is very similar to the Manfrotto 410 head that I used to use. However, there's a very nice difference for me, which is there's an Arca Swiss plate, which is great, because it means that if I want to turn the camera portrait without having to pull this down, then I can. It makes doing some panoramas a lot better and a lot easier. And then the tripod itself, it's a Mach 3, and I can't remember the model name myself. It's when it is, I think round there is where the model is, but basically that's what I'm currently using at the moment. So it's 5D Mark IV, that's replaced the 5D Mark II, and Benro tripods and heads. So the gear is absolutely great. I cannot recommend it enough. It is absolutely perfect for what it is I do as a travel photographer. It's light enough and sturdy enough for the work that I'm doing, so I can't recommend it enough. And that's not just because Benro are interested in what it is that I'm doing. It's because I really do believe in the gear that is there. I would not say to people, look, go and have a look at this gear, if I didn't believe in it at all. This evening I've come back to Lago di Misurina in the hope that there was going to be a nice colourful sunset. I arrived about maybe 40 minutes or so ago, and the cloud was starting to break, but it's gathered up again, as it has been doing the last few days here in the Dolomites. It's very frustrating, but it is, and it actually quite illustrates very well what it is that I was talking about when I was here this morning, in that you come to somewhere, you don't really have a lot of time, you're investing time and money, and you're thinking, am I actually going to get anything at all? So I have got some things today. I mean, this morning's photo from here was actually quite nice in the end. After I stopped recording, there was a bit of pink in the sky, so it looked quite nice. However, this evening it's just pretty rubbish. There's nothing else that I can say about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of shots, and I'm going to wait until the exposure gets to maybe like 15-30 seconds or so I can get a bit of movement up in the cloud there, and then I'm going to finish my day here. Now tomorrow I move locations from near to Brunico to Ortisei. So until then, what I'm going to do is say thanks so much for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.